Second Nature for Children is in the house. I hope everyone is doing well. Coach, how you doing?
I'm great, man. I'm great.
Okay, I understand you world traveled, so it's good to have you to come in the house.
Thousands of miles away from y'all, but I'm straight.
Oh,
Technology, man. Hey.
okay, okay. Good to see you. Good to have you this morning. We're gonna chop it up just for a little while. I'm not gonna hold you long. I know you're on vacation, so I'm glad you was able to get in and chill with us just for a minute. So this week we didn't go on Sunday because I was letting one of the videos kind of do its thing through the algorithm, and it did pretty good. But this is our first full week of the month, so I hope everyone took the challenge of taking their lives to another level. Like I say, whatever it is, we're going to do it once a month. Whatever challenge, whatever struggle that you have, I hope that you are taking this week to focus on either your weight or something you've been procrastinating on or something. Shoot me a comment and let me know. Ever since we've been doing this once a month challenge, have things changed for you? But I'm gonna tell you something. I know for a fact that if you begin to do it, things will change. That's a fact. So as you come into the room, family, make sure you subscribe. Like I say right now, with the information that we're giving, we should have 1 million subscribers. We should have 1 million likes. We should have 1 million shares. So it lets me know and give me an indication that we haven't got there yet, but we're doing very well though. I want to thank all the people who have subscribed. Man, I'm getting some great feedback and comments. So I want to thank everyone who's supporting Second Nature for Children. And so today I just want to chop it up with you a little bit about why blacks are addicts. And before you get all up in the uproar, we just want to make sure that I always define the word so we can have a reference, something to come back to. But as I look around, Coach, I'm seeing that we are addicts. Yeah, and I'm tell you why I go there. All right, first let's define what an addict is, because when we think of an addict or someone with an addiction, a lot of times we think about alcohol and drugs, a substance abuse, a lot of times. But let's just give a simple definition. We're gonna keep it real simple today, and let's give a simple definition of the word addict: a person who is slave to a habit or a practice. We're gonna leave it right there. A person who is a slave to a habit or a practice. Think about that. A slave, instead of thinking about a slave being someone who's owned by someone, we're going to say a person who is controlled or ruled by someone or some desire. A slave is a person who is controlled or ruled by someone or some desire. So this why I say, and I speak on the black community. I'm not worried about nobody else. They say, why he talking about the black? Because I'm addressing us in our community so that we can do better as a people. So when it comes to, let's say, sports, I see where we are addicts. I see where we are controlled and ruled by sports. I see that. Smoking, drinking, entertainment, drugs. This is the black community. Religion, mess, other folks' business, food. In those areas, I see that we are addicts. Now, I'm going to give you 2 words today we're going to work with. 2 words: dopamine and serotonin. 2 words. Dopamine. I want they can write it down. They can go look at it, investigate it, because we ain't gonna stay on it. But I'm gonna give you these 2 words to let you know why we struggle so much in the black community as addicts. Dopamine, serotonin. Serotonin. M-I-N-E, dopamine. You can look it up, do your homework on it. Serotonin, Serotonin. Those two words plays a very big part of us as a people being addicts. So let's take dopamine. I'm gonna come back and tell you a little bit more about it. Coach, I'm gonna let you jump in with that article, then we're gonna jump right into it. Dopamine is a chemical that your body makes that runs through your body. Your brain produces it as well. And it sends messages between your nerve cells. Okay? That's why sometimes it's called the chemical messenger. Your body spreads it along 4 major pathways in your brain. See, a lot of people never known to go to the doctor and get their dopamine checked. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't know about it. So these are things that we should have been addressing long time ago in the Black community that we didn't know about. So if we just take dopamine, then we know that it deals with pleasure. Remember that. When it's up, it's running through your body, up in the brain, it's dealing with pleasure. Your dopamine may be up. And then when we're dealing with serotonin, it's dealing more with feelings of happiness. It's a chemical that runs through your body. A lot of it is produced most of it is produced in your gut, your intestines. And maybe 10% of it is produced in the brain. So I just want you to take, and I say it again, dopamine, serotonin. These two chemicals are two of the biggest reasons that Blacks are addicts. Because when I name sports, smoking, drinking, entertainment, drugs, religion, mess, other folks' business, foods. When these two chemicals are off balance and doing their things in your body, sports, you don't understand why you got to have it. It brings you pleasure. It makes you happy. You understand? Smoking. Why you smoking? Why you drinking so much? You drinking so much because your chemical, you could be off balance chemically. We don't know what's going on. And it's time for us to begin to understand why we're doing certain things, because both of these chemicals have a lot to do with our behavior on why we're doing so many things. And a lot of us don't understand that it's chemicals that run through our body, that run through our nerve systems, that have us doing certain things, and we don't know why. We say, well, if I'm not a drug addict, then why that person is a drug addict? Well, they could be a drug addict because their dopamine can be out. That chemical that keeps them stable and balanced could be out. So I want to just make sure that everybody take the time, dopamine, serotonin. Make sure you go and investigate those two chemicals that's running through your body. Coach, probably about a week ago, we was talking and you brought up an article about food. And we're gonna touch on, we're gonna touch on that article right now. I'm gonna let you go in and I'm gonna connect that article that you have with these two chemicals and why, as people of color, we're leading in overweight and obesity. Share with us that article, Coach.
Okay, the article is dated October the 19th, 2023, and it says America's real drug problem. It says potato chips and donuts match cocaine in addictiveness. Now, it says Americans might be hooked on more than just their daily cup of coffee. According to recent shocking research, the very foods that grace our pantries and refrigerators are as addictive as some illicit drugs. Published in the British Medical Journal, this study's grim finding underscores roughly 14% of adults and 12% of children are in the grips of ultra-processed foods. These aren't just any foods. We're talking about saturated with refined sugars, artificial flavors, and unhealthy fats. Items such as ice cream, potato chips, sugary cereal, and the like. So what's the scientific reasoning? These edibles closely mirror the dopamine spike in our brains, triggered by hard-hitting substances like nicotine and even alcohol. Not just comparable, but they also surpass the addictiveness of drugs like heroin. I'm gonna say that again. Not just comparable, but they also surpass the addictiveness of drugs like heroin. I'm gonna leave it right there because there's a whole lot more. They talk about a doctor who did the research, yeah. But basically, it adds to what you just said. You know what I mean? And it really, I'm telling you, man, when I read the article, it shocked me. And then I started thinking of so many people. I mean, I gotta have these chips. I don't give what y'all say, I gotta do. You know what I mean? As something that you're accustomed to. But I ain't never took it serious because, they just gotta have it. But when I read this article, it's like, wow, gotta have this soda. I know people gotta have a Mountain Dew every morning. And they gotta have coffee. So you telling me, in order to start your day, if you can't have that thing or things that you say you got to have, what will happen? What would happen? What now, man? When you really think about it in that aspect, you're like, wow, that's slavery to a thing or things. That's slavery.
Well,
but that shocked me. That really shocked me.
Yeah. And see, I'm so glad you brought that up because what'll happen, I'm gonna answer what'll happen, because when that dopamine is off and they're not getting that pleasure that they need, that they feel they need, then it shows you, once you study that word even more, it shows you that it changes their mood swing. So now, absolutely, it changes their mood swing. So now what we're explaining is the reason you feeling like you have to have it. You have become an addict to it. And like, why do I feel like this? Or, why I got to have it? Why? Because your dopamine is off. It may be chemically too high, making you feel like I got to have it. I got to have it. I got to have it. That's the problem with that article, Coach. With that article right there, it lets you know, real simple. Let's keep it for laymen, for children to be able to understand it as well. So these two chemicals are the chemicals that when you are dealing with some type of addiction that gives you pleasure or makes you happy, these are the two main. It's some more chemicals that run through your body, but we're talking about the two main chemicals: pleasure, happiness. All the things that someone with an addiction is striving to get. They trying to get that pleasure, or they trying to get to that happy place. So now we just answered, after all this time, you may have been wondering what's going on or what's happening or what. Your dopamine is off, and it's giving you a craving for something, and you need the pleasure of it. So it tells you like this right here, when we're dealing with food, from you bringing that article, when the brain becomes dependent, listen, it becomes dependent on the release of dopamine, and it causes when you're eating, let's say, unhealthy food has certain things in it. So when the chemicals from that unhealthy food and the chemical of dopamine come together, it makes you an addict, because now you feel like, oh, it gives me so much pleasure. Oh, so now every time you're going through something, either when you're stressed, either when you're dealing with trauma, no matter what it is you're dealing with, the reason we're overweight or obese a lot of times is because we're trying to, the brain has what they call a reward system. So we're trying to meet that pleasure. We're trying to fulfill that reward system so that we can feel better. And so a lot of times we use food, certain foods, and like you named a couple of foods that they have that most of us are addicted to. Like you,
But not knowing.
yeah.
Without even knowing, I just like this. Yeah, you think you just like this, and you don't even know. That's what it is. I mean, I was looking at, it even talks about the part when it talks about the salt, sugar, and the fats to be highly reinforced, which can lead to some people to engage in compulsive eating. You know, so
absolutely,
man.
and when you go ahead.
What's crazy about this too? It's some off-wall news article, crystal clear news. I think out of Florida somewhere. Because I always go through stuff, you know, different medias, whether they're known to us or familiar or not. And you're not gonna see this on mainstream or period.
Right.
You're not gonna see this in mainstream. You're not gonna see it, man. You go in the supermarket and tell me what you see. That's why you're not gonna see this.
And I'm gonna tell you something. From that right there, one of the reasons you're not gonna see it is because this is how rehab centers in certain places make their money. So if I let you know what's going on with you, then if you find a way to fix it, then you won't need my help. So I can't let you know that your dopamine is off. I can't let you know. So I'm not going to put that out there. When I put stuff out there, when you go, like you said, when you go to the supermarket, you're going to be getting a lot of mess, something you can read when you're in a lot of folks' business. They're going to keep your mind off of what can help you. Yep. That's why I need the family to go and make sure they check out all the content that we're putting out, because we're bringing information that can help you. So listen, $1 million answer, multi-million-dollar answer. We just helped a lot of people by letting them know why they're struggling with certain things. It's because of you got two chemicals that's off balance in your body, and you don't even know what's going on. You wondering why you got to have it. Why you craving this? Why you this? Why you that? Why you overweight? Why you? Because, family, your dopamine is off. That's your pleasure. That's a chemical. I got to say it again. That's a chemical that runs through the body, that runs through the brain. When your brain have that reward system, and once you get that craving, it relaxes you. And then
until the next time.
Absolutely, until the next time. And then once again, your serotonin, it plays that part in your feelings, your happiness. So once you get it, and that's why I said in these certain areas, further as sports, it's the same thing that's going on. We got to have it. You mess around and you tell a sports fanatic, this Sunday, no sports for you. Boy, let me tell you, can you imagine your person who got this? When you go on YouTube, most of the information on YouTube is strictly mess and being in other folks' business. And we gravitate, and we gravitate toward it so much, and we don't understand that we get pleasure from it. It makes us happy, unbeknowing that those two chemicals are off in our bodies, in our mind. So we just answer, family. And I need your feedback. If you think that, wow, something that you never heard of, give us your perspective, shoot me a comment. I appreciate the comments that are coming in. But family, this is one of the reasons, two other things that are going on, especially in the Black community, that makes us addicts, because we're always looking for something that gives us pleasure, and we're always looking for something that makes us happy. So if you're dealing with trauma from your past, okay, whatever can happen to you in your past can happen to you. And if your chemical is off balance, and whatever you're thinking about, whatever happened to you, when you begin to eat, especially a lot of us have bad eating habits, and we're eating unhealthy foods, which have certain chemicals in them as well. Now, your dopamine is off because one reason, you're not eating properly and you're not exercising. Those are some of the things that can kind of keep your chemicals in your body balanced. You understand? So once you're not taking care of your body, once you're not eating properly and you're not exercising, facts that your chemical that runs through your nervous system, that runs through your body, is going to be off balance. So once you begin to partake in these processed foods that has a lot of different chemicals in them, and they hit those two chemicals that's running through your body, and you feeling like, oh man, I feel so much better. I feel so much better. So every time you begin to feel depressed, stressed out about something, or going through some type of emotional tantrum, you're trying to get to that food. And now that food makes you feel like, oh man, okay, whew, I'm back. That's why when people get that Coca-Cola, those cookies, that cake, that pizza, that whatever it is, they, for that moment, when you get them drugs, you smoke that dope, that cigarette, you go out, man, you know how many people have to step outside and just hit that cigarette? Woo, okay, now I can come back in and deal with you. We have just uncovered, family. We have just uncovered. Listen, you don't owe me nothing for this. We have just uncovered two of the main reasons why, as a people of color, and I know other people from, I'm talking about us. I'm dealing with us. I want us to go to another level. We have just uncovered why we're dealing with so much addiction in the Black community. It's because the chemicals that runs through your body, that's released in your brain, that gives you pleasure and that makes you happy, you're trying to feed them. And once you feed them, whatever your addiction, whatever controls you, whatever rules you, whatever desire you're reaching for, once you get a taste of whatever you're looking for, it could be entertainment. See, like I said, we never think about other things could be have an addiction to them. A lot of times people just want to hear a lot of mess. They don't even realize that's an addiction. Well, I could just, I want to fight. That's why I told you, if you put wisdom on one side, here's a fact, and you put a fight at Popeye's chicken, I promise you that fight at Popeye's chicken gonna have more views. I promise you. You could go to all these other places, this TikTok, this, that, where they doing little quick snippets. man, they might have over 100K. Nothing to do with taking your life to another level. Nothing to do with taking your life to another level. But entertainment, we are addicted to entertainment because mentally, chemically, we're off balance. So I just want the family to know why in the Black community that we are dealing with certain things and that we struggle with certain things. So when you have these two chemicals off, then you're dealing with a mental disorder or a mental illness or mental issues, it makes it worse. That's what's going on in the Black community. A lot of us haven't been diagnosed with certain things that we have. And you can't tell me that I got something going on because now you calling me crazy. I'm getting ready to curse you out. And I'm not calling you crazy. I'm just saying you need to sit down for a minute with yourself and address some things with yourself. Because the only way you can heal is that you come to the conclusion that I need to be healed. I'm sick. And a lot of us are sick, but we don't want to admit it. And once someone brings it out to them, that's why the information that we're giving out, listen, facts, it'll change your life. But one of the problems we're having with us, we don't want to admit first that we have a problem. So our information is really going over a lot of people's head because, ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm good. No, family, I'm telling you, when you pull, and I'm not going to kill you with statistics and numbers, when you pull these numbers up about addiction, oh man, we are in trouble as a people. So, Coach, you could go in, whatever you want to share.
No, man, I mean, like I said, this article, man, really, to me, shine a light deeper into some things or habits, if you will, that seem so simple, man. But we know so many of us are hindered by it. And you see us, I'm dealing with the food. I ain't not even going with the hard stuff. I'm dealing with the food. Go in the grocery store. Look at them shopping carts, man. Look at the 3, 4, and 5 cases of sodas, man. You know what I mean? Look at the junk. And that's not all for you. You're feeding the babies. You're feeding the babies. You passing the same sickness on to them, unbeknownst to, you don't know. But now you know. So what you gonna do?
And by you saying that, Coach, that is so true. We was uneducated about certain things coming up. And that's why now we're bringing this information out so you won't have any more excuses. We are definitely killing our children because when you begin to look at those numbers are crazy. And like you mentioned earlier, you're talking about it's called the 3 pillars of addicted foods, and that's that salt, that added sugar and fat, what they have put into the foods. Now you're talking about eventually, if you constantly consume them and watch them, these are 3 things that are so bad for the body, especially when you're eating them excessively. You understand?
Yeah.
So the chemicals that they have in them and the 2 chemicals that we're talking about, once they come together, it's self-destruction.
Now,
So
let me just add this, not trying to cut you. Let me just add this too.
You got it.
That processed meat filled with carcinogens. Processed meat filled with carcinogens. And I ain't calling the supermarket name, but anytime I go in that supermarket, I see us lying up at the deli doggone counter. with that processed meat, man. You know, I've seen it out there, different articles, but especially the processed meat. It's filled with carcinogens, aka cancerous, but we still every day diving into it, man. We got to change the way we move, man. I mean, I know it's hard because you're accustomed to it, but now you know what you know, man. You got to push back. You know, even if it's small steps, man. I hope that you push back. Let me say that, because you don't have to. It's on you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know, but I consider this, man. I had to share it. I consider it.
Tell it.
You know,
Tell it. Well,
yeah.
and by you talking about that processed food, first I'm gonna go back up to the pillars where we dealing with those three things has a big factor in dealing with heart disease and us having strokes, type 2 diabetes and some types of cancer and kidney disease, things like that right there. High blood pressure. So we dealing with all of that. And when you begin to talk about processed foods, and if the family want us to come back on, or definitely want me to come back on and talk about more processed foods, all they have to do is hit me in the comment section, and I would definitely do so. But that processed food is definitely killing us. We have to be careful because processed foods, most of the foods that we eat are processed, whether a lot of folks know it or not. And they have put it in 3 different categories where they may call one category, it may be minimally processed. Then you got processed. Then you got ultra processed.
Ultra, yep.
Absolutely. Yep. So you know that the more it goes down through there, and once it get to the ultra processed, those are the foods that we like more, that we was naming a little earlier, with certain chemicals and processed, and you know, a lot of different chemicals has been added, and then they have been packaged.
Then artificial, the coloring, the flavor,
all this stuff. So now we just explain, family, why we're dealing with so much obesity, why we dealing with so much overweight, why we dealing with the mood swings and things like that, why we dealing with why we have such a craving. It's because, family, of the 2 chemicals, your dopamine, your serotonin is off, mixed with the chemicals that are in the foods. That's it, family. That's it. And then when you start talking about why you drinking so much, why you smoking so much, why entertainment got you, why mess got you, why being in other folk business, because these 2 chemicals are off balance in your life, and you're trying to feed them. Wow, that right there. This right here ought to go viral. This video would letting folks know this is a healing video. This video ought to go strictly viral, man. This will help take us to another level, because we're going through a lot of stuff, especially in the Black community, that we don't understand. And to bring it just this simple, to kind of give you an understanding, to kind of give you the opportunity to start looking at some things. Wow, wow, that's crazy. But I'm gonna leave it right there, Coach. We just explained why in the Black community we deal with addiction and what's going on with the foods and things in our body. Wow.
In a space of what, half an hour?
Stop playing. I want you to stop playing, man. This right here, if they take this information and begin to educate themselves more on this information, if they want me to give more information on it, man, I will give it. This will help change your life, to find out why you are dealing with certain things, because your chemicals in your body and your brain is off balance. Wow. Coach, we got 2 minutes and 22 seconds. If you want to share anything before we go.
Really, man, just the usual, man. Now you know. What are you gonna do, man? Because you cannot be comfortable knowing what you know now if you happen to hear this and not do anything about your situation. You know. So keep evolving, man. It doesn't have to be giant steps, man. You know, inch by inch, man. Start with a little thing, man. If you know that's you, start with a little thing, man. You know, because you've been probably doing it for so long, you can't see yourself without it. You know what I mean? And what's sad too, man, we talking about food that's legal. It's not illegal. You go anywhere, the grocery store, the service station, anywhere you can go, you gonna find the stuff we talking about. It's right in our faces, man. So we got to be more vigilant about our health, because that's our ultimate wealth. Period. So
Absolutely.
that's it, man.
All right, Coach, I'm gonna leave it right there. But hey, great ending, great ending. And hey, family, if you need my help, there's my information dealing with these areas. And until the next time we come together, Coach, enjoy your vacation. And what Sunday look like? What Sunday look like?
Oh, Sunday, I'll be straight.
I hit you up there. We'll
regular time?
Yeah, our regular time.
Okay, yeah, I'll be straight.
Okay, I'll hit you up. All right, take
care. Okay. All right.
Yes, sir.